Now from WCIA3 News.
If you get the coronavirus while on the job, you could get workers' compensation. We'll tell you who can apply. Plus, there's a shortage of personal protective equipment. What U of I and Carle researchers are developing to help solve the problem. A county jail inmate escaped through a closet ceiling and out a window, where officials finally found it.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA3 News at 5.
All of those workers are taking on a huge risk to keep those businesses functioning.
Essential workers are on the front lines battling COVID-19, but some industries want more protections for their employees in addition to masks and gloves. Good evening, I'm Jennifer Roscoe. Workers' compensation disputes normally happen in a courtroom, but a new order will change that in this pandemic. WCIA3's Cole Henke has more.
Illinois essential workers will now be all but guaranteed workers' compensation if they contract COVID-19, thanks to a new order from the Illinois Workers' Compensation Commission, which now allows courts to presume that they got the virus on the job. Governor Pritzker announced workers who get the virus on the job will be presumed to have gotten it while working. Representatives for frontline workers are praising the idea, saying it will ensure those workers are taken care of.
That gives a lot of assurance to essential workers that are out, risking their lives every day, whether, that can be a nurse, that can be another healthcare worker, a CNA, an LPN.
But not every industry is happy with the change. In a letter to the governor, several business groups said they did not think the move was fair, and it put employers in an impossible spot.
What this does is this creates an unfair presumption. This puts government's finger on the scale of justice to essentially say that the employer is responsible for the COVID virus, for an employee getting the COVID virus.
Reporting in Springfield, I'm Cole Henke.
Now, before the order, workers could get workers' comp for getting COVID-19 on the job, but they would have to prove it in court. Now, it's assumed they got it where they work, but the employer can rebuke the claim if they can prove it. The state is out with new COVID-19 numbers. There are another 1,200 confirmed cases and 74 deaths. That brings the total number of cases to more than 23,000. The death toll is now at 868. In central Illinois, another person has died in Christian County. 4 people have died there now. 24 have tested positive. In Macon County, the number of cases is up to 43. 3 people have died. More than half of the cases are linked to the Fairhaven Senior Living Facility in Decatur. It's no secret personal protective equipment, or PPE, is in short supply in many places, but now a collaboration between Carle and the U of I is trying to change that. WCIA3's Courtney Bunting talked to them about what they're doing.
Researchers at the U of I are working together to develop PPE equipment that will protect people working on the front lines. They're teaming up with Carle Health Team to roll out this equipment. Their goal is to design products that are easy and cheap to make, while still providing protection to those wearing them. Their first design to launch is a face shield.
We wanted to make them, of course, as useful as possible, and understanding that the part that might get exposed would be the shield covering, but the actual headband, or the piece that connects to the head, ideally wouldn't get exposed. So the design was created so that the actual headband is reusable, but then the shield component, you can throw it away.
Researchers are also working on N95 respirators, as well as different types of gowns and masks. Their plan is to give these to healthcare workers in Champaign County to use, all to address the nationwide shortage. Testing on the face shields will start this week. The other equipment is still in the developing stages. Reporting in Urbana, Courtney Bunting, WCIA3, your local news leader.
Now, the design for the face shields was because of the combined effort of lots of researchers. That includes some from the College of Medicine, the Granger College of Engineering, and even costume designers from the U of I's theater department. One Springfield alderman is helping people who are finding it hard to get a hold of some protective masks. Sean Gregory handed out around 700 of them to people on the east side. People who were out catching the bus or going to work without a mask could get one.
It was important for me, to, one, get out and, get them some supplies, and 2, just really spread the word that this is serious and I think seeing me out with my mask on and gloves and stuff like that, really painted the picture that this is serious. And, if we are forced to go out, that we need to protect ourselves and others. And, other than that, stay in as much as we can.
The Sangamon Watch Company donated those masks. And with coronavirus cases still on the rise, a big question has been, what are jails doing to prevent the spread behind bars? WCIA3's Karina Rubio talked with the sheriff to see what's being done in Champaign County.
The sheriff says so far there are no COVID-19 cases among inmates or staff at the jail or office. They've made some changes to hopefully keep it that way. They've covered the basics, like telling inmates and staff to frequently wash hands, screening them for symptoms, and providing masks. The sheriff says they're quarantining all new inmates, whether they show symptoms or not, for 14 days before entering the general population. That's to make sure someone who may be asymptomatic isn't around other people. The sheriff says they've also released some inmates with nonviolent offenses or who may be more likely to contract the disease than others.
Common misconception is that I can just decide what inmates are going to stay and what inmates aren't, but that's not true. Whenever a judge tells me, Sheriff, you will hold this person, I have to hold this person.
The sheriff says they also work with the state's attorney's office to determine which inmates may be eligible for release. So far, this measure has reduced the inmate population by 20%. The sheriff says they have 142 inmates in custody. 15 are serving sentences at home with electronic monitoring. Maximum capacity is 295. In Champaign, Karina Rubio, WCIA3, your local news leader.
Now, the sheriff's office says it's also brought down daily arrests from about 15 a day to 4 a day within the last month. That's because they've been issuing notice to appear in court citations instead of arresting for some nonviolent or minor offenses. We have an update now on the search for an escaped inmate in Macoupin County. He was found about 20 minutes south of the jail in Shipman last night. Officials say William Kavanaugh went into a closet, crawled through the ceiling, and out a second-story window Sunday night. And they're looking into whether he had help from inside or outside the jail. He may have had help from an inmate. A man was arrested today for murdering another man in Springfield last year. 24-year-old Keon Klein was wanted for shooting and killing 59-year-old Raymond Davis last August. He was arrested today for murder and aggravated discharge of a firearm. New tonight at 5, firefighters responded to a roof on fire at Lakeland College at Neal Hall. Fire crews say it was near a penthouse. People were working on the roof. No one was hurt. There is some smoke damage inside. Want to do something productive while you're staying at home? How one U of I professor can help. Plus, as more people are looking for new hobbies during this pandemic, business is booming for some. How they can help you pass the time this spring.
When it comes to gardening, I think it's the one thing they love to do and can do during these times.
While several shops have been ordered to temporarily close, some industries are noticing a spike in business. Nurseries say more people are showing an interest in growing their own food. WCIA3's Jamie Mays has more.
Nursery employees say they've seen a huge jump in the number of people interested in gardening, but sales are being done online. Since people have been quarantined in their homes, Country Arbors Nursery says it's noticed more emails and online orders. Website traffic is up 300%, and the phones are constantly ringing with customers who want to buy plants. People are showing an interest in raised vegetable gardens and growing their own vegetables and fruit like blueberries. Employees say gardening is a good way to use time at home.
I think people are really excited because it's healthy, it's something they can do, something to pass the time, and something that the results are going to last for a long time to come. It's not just something they're doing now, but in fall they're going to look out and see all that work, and even in 10 years their garden's going to look so much nicer, all because they had a little more time to spend on it.
Customers pick up what they want from home. Plants are being delivered, or you can drive by and pick them up. In Urbana, Jamie Mays, WCIA3, your local news leader.
Now, Country Arbors Nursery says things like mushroom compost, topsoil, and vegetables have all been popular with customers. We're going to put a positive spin on your day at The Bright Stop. It's where we show your pictures and videos to spread the good things that you're seeing during this crisis. First up, Charleston police got a donation of reusable masks from Sherry and Maya. Now they can keep protecting and serving safely. Patricia's family wasn't able to celebrate her mom's 82nd birthday with her, so they did this instead. instead a sign and balloons outside on her sidewalk so everybody who drives by knows to wish her a happy birthday. And lastly, Annie and her kids found a way to visit their family over the weekend. They did it by social distancing in the car. Very important. And we want to see your pictures and videos. Email us or send them to us on Facebook. We'll have a post at the top of our page every day for you to share what you're seeing. The National Guard is helping with coronavirus efforts, where they're going and what they're doing, and still to come.
You don't have to have any business knowledge to come in and learn from this.
Not only that, but you don't even have to be a U of I student. How this professor is teaching smart business quick.
So I thought, how can I do something to show my students I care and I'm there for you, and maybe we can raise some money.
The principles of marketing is usually taught at the U of I over the course of a semester, but today the professor is taking on the challenge of teaching it all in one day. I hope you had a lot of water. WCIA3's Andy Olson takes a look at how his marathon is helping others.
Usually Mark Walters teaches his students here at the Geese College of Business. But with the school still closed because of COVID-19, Walters had to get creative to teach his students and anyone else who wants to learn the principles of marketing. Walters started a live stream at 8 a.m. on Tuesday, and he's not stopping until he's done teaching, which he thinks could take 12 hours. Walters says all business students usually take his class. His current students aren't required to tune in, but he hopes those who watch parts will get a refresher. Because it's on YouTube, Walters also hopes people out of school can learn something.
It's available to anyone. Like, you don't have to have any business knowledge to come in and learn from this. So you can learn, hey, how can I make my business better? Whether you're doing lawn care or whether you're running a big business, hey, we can teach you some stuff that can help you out.
During the live stream, Walters is taking donations for U of I's Emergency Dean Fund. It's a 24/7 resource available to students in serious situations. In Champaign, Andy Olson, WCIA3, your local news leader.
I don't know if he's going to have a voice at the end of this, but he does say he's not new to streaming. He and his wife live stream on a travel channel they run twice a week. We've done a story on it. Walters has several computers to get him to the end of the stream. He expects to be done around 8 o'clock tonight. We'll have a look at today's top stories coming up, but first, the National Guard is being deployed all over the state. We'll tell you what exactly they'll be doing in central Illinois. Here are the top stories in central Illinois tonight. The Department of Public Health announced another 1,200 confirmed COVID-19 cases and 74 deaths. That brings the total number to more than 23,000. The death toll now stands at 868. Essential workers in Illinois who get coronavirus on the job now qualify for workers' compensation. They don't have to prove it in court. The ruling says if a worker says they got sick on the job, they are presumed to be telling the truth. In Macoupin County, the man who escaped the jail Sunday night was found about 15 miles away in Shipman last night. Officers say William Kavanaugh went into a closet, crawled through the ceiling, and out a second-story window. And coming up tonight at 6, taking your dog out just got harder in one city where you won't be able to take them because of the pandemic.
Temperatures will be cold overnight tonight with lows dropping down into the upper 20s and low 30s, and it stays cool here for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Unfortunately, calling for a chance of some snow showers Wednesday morning, transitioning to some rain showers, and probably doing the same thing again for us on Friday. Jennifer?
All right, but then we get to a good weekend.
It's going to be warmer.
Just got to get over the hump. All right, thanks, Jack. And thank you for being here. We'll see you again at 6.